Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to our second August meeting, or as I call it, 4 out of 24 for my presidential year. Anyhow, we're going to start off with Ryan doing a little happy bucks here. So take it away.
Thank you, President Roger. That is loud. I like it. Feels good. For those of you who have not been a part of Happy Bucks before, this is our chance to raise some funds for Alzheimer's research here with these blue cart buckets. If you have any happy news to share or just news to share in general, we like happy news. We call it Happy Bucks. But if you have anything, we just encourage you to drop $1, $2, $10, $100 pocket change in here, and you have a chance to make your announcement. I see you back here. Ladies first, chivalry is not lost in the South here.
Hello, everyone. If you know me, you've already heard my happy news, but I'm coming up on my 25th wedding anniversary, and I'm super excited. 24 days from today, I will be flying to London, and then we will be in Scotland and England for 2 weeks. And I'm also happy because I have made it around the world, not around the world. 50 years tomorrow is my 50th birthday.
Big milestones there. Thank you, Amy. Big cash she's dropping in here. Even she's got that trip coming up. Yes.
I'm happy with him. Finally in football season. Go Tigers, beat everybody.
All right, go Tigers. I'd also like to throw out a go Blue Hose for those Presbyterian College alums here today. Yes, sir, Mr. Powell.
So my wife and I are participate in the Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's on October the 5th. And so if you would like to walk with us, it's a 2-mile walk. Please, I've got some cards here. You can sign up. It's called Pammy's Team. And or you can give and help contribute that way in addition to the cart bucket. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Go ahead and grab an extra egg roll if you want, and then join Scott for a 2-mile walk. It'll all cancel each other out, and you'll feel really good about it. What other happy bucks do we have? Happy bucks. What other happy bucks do we have? Oh, here we go. Roger's got big cash here.
This no, anyhow. I'm happy. My oldest is turning 30 today, and that's kind of a bigger milestone for the parent than it is for the kid. But
you'll see Roger at the bar afterwards today here. Any other happy bucks here? Happy bucks going once. Well, I'm sure everyone has happy news to continue to share, so do keep this in mind. We're going to be doing this at every Rotary meeting to raise money for valuable Alzheimer's research. Hello, our friends. And hope that you will continue to support Happy Bucks and the great causes of the Alzheimer's research. Thank you all so much.
I have him use the bucket from our table, so we look the most generous. Let's see, announcements. First off, thanks very much to Jane who helped set up today, because Jenny is out with COVID, unfortunately. And so keep Jenny in your thoughts and prayers. She doesn't sound very good, so hopefully she's getting better. We have Thirsty Thursday, next Thursday, September 5th. It's at Hoppin' Greenville. A reminder, 2 weeks from today, our first meeting in September is canceled. I guess it's rescheduled. It'll be, Ryan Brown will talk about it, but it'll be on the Friday. We've got an event that week. The West End, per our contract, 1 time per Rotary year, they're able to kick us out, I guess, for lack of a better term, contractually to provide for other events. So again, no meeting 2 weeks from today. We'll meet again. The second meeting in September will be the Teacher of the Year celebration. And lastly, on Saturday, September 14th from 9 to noon, just a few hours, it's the park cleanup. It's at the Rotary Park or North Main Park, whatever you choose to call it. It's over off of, I want to say at Rutherfordton, I believe, but it's on that side of town. Please join us, and there's a sign up in DAC DB. So if you'd bow your heads with me, I'd like to do our invocation. Let my eyes be opened. Let me Awake and see the beauty that surrounds me all around. Let me hear the singing birds make their wonderful sound. Let me thank my Creator for my health that has been good to me so far. Let all my dreams come true when wishing upon a star. Let me be thankful for friendship that was lovingly given me. Let me never forget the caring that was made for me to see. Would you please rise for our pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, I'm Dr. Iris. Welcome to another Rotary meeting. I wanted to introduce some guests that we have in the club today. Liz Dalton, if you could please stand and then hold your applause until after everyone has been standing. Liz Dalton, guest of Bob Howard. Ron Stern, guest of Rob Rowan. Tabitha Studebaker, guest of Miss Lisa Minnick. David Thompson, guest of the club. Emily Pettigrew, guest of Rob Morris. And Aaron Davis, guest of Ryan Thackeray. Go ahead and stand. And we also have a visiting Rotarian, Miss Maggie Campbell from Asheville. Somewhere, maybe? Okay. Well, welcome guests. We're glad to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeremy, and unlike the program says, it's going to be me and Brett giving you a little exciting Kringle update this year. So Brett is in charge of the building committee, and he's going to give you a little update on that. That good?
Very good.
All right.
Yes, thank you. We're excited. We've done a lot of planning with the creative ops team, and we're gearing up to transform the Greenville Convention Center, and got a lot of great ideas and trying to really be good stewards of everything that we're raising for our big fundraiser. And so we're putting our hands to work, and we've got some events scheduled. We're picking the second and fourth Fridays of October and November. I believe it's the 8th and the 22nd.
Let me pull up the schedule here.
But we're going to be doing that
So October 11th.
11th and the 25th of October, and then the 8th and 22nd of November. So in case the second and fourth Fridays don't mean much to you guys. We'll be hosting those at my office, Caldwell Constructors. We're over near Jail Man. And so looking forward to it. If anybody's interested, we'll be posting some opportunities to sign up for that. So please consider joining us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, we will need your help with hammers and saws and all that kind of things to make our props and make the event a success. So Brett spoke about volunteering, so I'm just giving you an update on the volunteers. The volunteer, the link has been sent out in the newsletter, and it's also live on the KringleHolidayVillage.com. So you're welcome to sign up. We still need plenty of help. We have a total of 373 slots to fill this year. And as of a current update right this minute, we have filled 12. So that represents 3.22% of the needs. And we're going to be adding more slots to that website too, to the sign up for the build days that Brett just talked about. So that'll be the way that we track those, and you can sign up for that, and we'll send out more information for that. So please volunteer for Kringle. We need your help. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm right over here. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. I'm Derek Lewis. I'm with the membership committee, and we have two new members to introduce today. Both of them come from the higher ed community, so I'll let them introduce themselves and where they're from. First is Julietta from Greenville Tech.
Let's bring that down. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Julie Eddy. I get the privilege of serving as President Miller's Chief of Staff at Greenville Technical College. I am also a member of Advent United Methodist Church. So a little bit about me from that perspective. I have two small boys. I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old who are at elementary school and just loving every bit of it. They love to be back in school. My connections to Rotary run deep. My mother was a part of this club specifically until she retired. She was in law enforcement. Carol Allison, she helped start the federal law enforcement award here for this club. So I grew up participating in all things Rotary. The Roper Mountain Holiday Lights. Yeah, as children, all three of us were out there screwing all those light bulbs in over and over again. And we loved it, loved every minute of it. So when that went away, it was kind of sad. My grandfather was a lifetime Rotarian, and my uncle is currently still a Rotarian in Florida and has challenged me. And I told him I will never meet his goal, what he has set forward. He has 51 years perfect attendance. So I have big shoes to fill in my family from a Rotarian perspective. I'm really glad to be here, and I look forward to serving this community. So thank you.
And we have Rashidi Green from USC Upstate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Rashidi Green. I'm originally from the town of Webster in Rochester, New York. Spent most of my life in Buffalo, New York, literally half of my life since being a student athlete at the University of Buffalo. And I was gainfully employed for a number of years at my alma mater, primarily in student athlete, academic advising, counseling. And I had the opportunity to move down to the upstate almost 2 years ago in December of 22. I'm very happy to be down here and join you all. I have a wife and 4 kids, 14-year-old boy, 10-year-old daughter, 7-year-old daughter, and 3-year-old son. We homeschool our children. We're a member of Hope Church Spartanburg. My connection to Rotary, actually, I had no idea of what Rotary was, especially growing up in Western New York. The only time that I heard of Rotary was when we were waiting to hear our school announced for closing school, on a snow day. And I would always hear, well, Rotary Club has been canceled, due to inclement weather. And that's, all that I knew about it. But I'm so happy to be able to connect with you and know about the good that you all do in the community, and that we do in the community and throughout the world. And my connection was Scott Stevens, who has been a great colleague at University of South Carolina Upstate, friend and brother from another mother. I really appreciate you. And I'm happy to have the opportunity to have had the opportunity to meet many of you. And I look forward to meeting the rest of you, and looking forward to doing some great work here in the community in the upstate area. So thank you again.
While we get a picture taken, I just want to say how painless that was for new members. And for some of you who have been ignoring my emails, you can only do that for so long before I come to your house. So we're excited to have some other new members to introduce as well. Thank you.
Oh, you look like a rowdy bunch. So I'm here to talk about the allure of the Falcon. You ready to hear? We're having a murder mystery, October 25th, at a gallery in Greer. Yes. What to expect? We expect you to dress up in the 20s, 1920s. There'll be food and drink, but remember, your drink may be poisoned. You are being part of the investigation, finding out who did it, or you may be the murderer. Are you ready to help solve this who did it? You need to show up with your spouse, free, of course, because this is Rotary. So, starts at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Be there, or you might be next. Thank you.
I'm not sure I want to follow Rob. My pleasure today to introduce somebody who, for most of us, needs no introduction. Dr. Dee Kivett has been teaching at Clemson CU-ICAR for now a dozen years. She currently is the academic program director, which is a fancy title, means she runs the undergraduate learning how to build automobiles stuff. There'll be some interesting stuff on the video. If you've been out to fly out of GSP anytime lately, you'll see there's usually one of their products out there on display. Dee and her husband Walt have been members of the Rotary Club of Greenville since June of 2004. In addition to her day job, she is also the CEO of Next Gen Supply Chain Integrators, which consults on quality, compliance, supply chain management, all that kind of fun stuff for high-tech manufacturing firms. Now, here is your quiz. Who are her famous relatives? Anybody know? Walt's not famous. The Wood brothers. If you're a NASCAR fan, she is the down trace from the Wood brothers, who this past weekend won their 100th NASCAR race, dating back to 1950. So she is actually famous, and she teaches at Clemson. So Dee, come have a word with us.
Hi, everybody. It's great to have a chance to have a chat with you all. If any of you, if I'm new to any of you, it's because I have to teach on Tuesdays and I'm actually skipping class right now to spend time with you all. But it's really a pleasure to be here and tell you about some of the exciting things we have going on at CU-ICAR. You probably drive by us every day as you see that pylon on the side of I-85. If you drive by and wonder what's going on over there today, I'm going to tell you about a few of those exciting new happenings. There we go. Okay. So Clemson University, large school. We have over 28,000 students. And I believe that our number of employees here of 6,000 is a little bit low. It's actually closer to like 11,000 now of people who work for Clemson University. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how CU-ICAR came to be and how it fits into not only the strategic vision of Clemson University as a whole, but the state of South Carolina and our economic prosperity. Clemson recently unveiled a new strategic plan and a new mission. We call it Clemson Elevate. And there are three primary elements toward this new strategic mission. The first and foremost, leading the way, is that of creating the #1 student experience in the nation. Students matter, right? This is a big investment in their families' time, money, and their lives. And we want not only to deliver the best education, but we want it to be fulfilling for them. And so we have a focus to create experiential learning in all of our departments, not just that of automotive. But right now, what we do at CU-ICAR is really leading the way in that element of experiential learning, helping students to learn by doing. They get to create something that they're proud of. They end up learning more in the process. We also are doing research that changes lives, life-changing discoveries, and research that drives the economic prosperity in the state of South Carolina. We are helping our community, our state as a whole, to flourish and thrive. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. Some of our research areas. This is university-wide: advanced materials, cyber infrastructure and big data, energy, transportation, and advanced manufacturing. Of course, a center of excellence there at CU-ICAR. Human resilience, health innovation, and sustainable environments. We'll actually find research in all of these areas being done at CU-ICAR, including that of health, where some of our research professors have partnerships at Roger C. Peace right here at Greenville Hospital that helps people to drive who maybe have been victim of disabilities or things that would hamper their mobility. A lot of cutting edge research going on even in the health area with automotive. Corporate partnerships, you see a large list here. This is not all encompassing. These are just a few of the corporate sponsors that lead research with us at CU-ICAR. A lot of people have the misconception that your tax dollars pay for research at universities, and that's not actually the case. The research that's done at CU-ICAR is entirely funded through industry partnerships. And so companies come to us for the brightest minds in the nation. We have students that come from all over the world. And thankfully, you'll be glad to hear that we also have a lot that are from right here in the upstate in South Carolina. But these companies are helping to fund the future of mobility in our world. CU-ICAR is actually one of many innovation campuses around the state. You may not know that some of these places exist, but there is an advanced materials facility down in Anderson where they're doing cutting edge research with the Department of Energy and Department of Defense. We have the Restoration Institute, also known as Curie, down in the Low Country. We have the Cube Inc., a health innovation center right here in Greenville, as well as the Human Genetics Center in Greenwood. And so CU-ICAR happens to be one of the more well-known of these institutes. But on these innovation campuses, we do both academic teaching as well as active research. So the CU-ICAR program was the first PhD and master's program in the nation where students get a degree in automotive engineering. And just last fall, we announced our start of our new program, and that's where I'm spending the majority of my time now, is a bachelor's degree in automotive engineering. And so instead of on their diploma it's saying mechanical or electrical or any of the traditional fields, their diploma says automotive engineering. And you may ask, well, what is that, right? What is automotive engineering? And I'll define it simply as is a systems engineering degree where they are expected to learn about all the disciplines. And so we're trying to help people understand how this degree is different. I had parents say, well, maybe I don't want my child to be narrowly focused on just the automotive industry. But in fact, it's just the opposite. Our degree is the most broad compassing, where our students learn about vehicle electronics, they learn about advanced materials, they learn about manufacturing, industrial engineering, human factors, all the things that go into making transportation and mobility solutions for tomorrow. And so it's a great opportunity for students who want to learn what it takes to be successful in the automotive industry, which we're going to talk a little bit about why that's so important. Right here, you can see a map of our Southeast, and these are the auto manufacturers that are located in the Southeast region now. And it used to be that we thought about Detroit and the area around Detroit as being where the big three live. But now we actually are becoming the center of excellence for automotive manufacturing right here in the Southeast. And we're projected by even just the near term year 2028 to need another 115,000 engineers to support this. So if you've got kids that are thinking about what they want to do in college, there's job security in this field. Okay, and so this is not something that's getting outsourced. In fact, you see that there's companies here like Volvo, Mercedes, Hyundai, Toyota, and of course, our favorite BMW right up the road, right? Companies are coming from all over the world to make their cars here. And they're also doing innovation here and testing here and creating new ideas here. It's not just manufacturing. Uh-oh. Let's take a quick tour. that tour. You got to see a little bit of our research facilities. We also have classrooms there too, but this is the fun stuff that make our program different and unique. I'd like to also give a little props to our friends next door at Greenville Tech, where at the Center for Manufacturing Innovation, they house their advanced manufacturing program. And so we have research labs in that facility as well, and are working hard to engage the tech program students with our program at CU-ICAR and develop design projects collaboratively with those students. But the laboratories here, the Clemson Composite Center has been recognized worldwide as one of the leading institutes in the world doing composites research for automotive applications. And we also have the Vehicle Assembly Center, where we can try new technologies on a mock assembly line as though we were right at BMW. A lot of BMW research goes on here, including some that you may have seen in the news recently about their humanoid robots and virtual reality used to augment and make vehicle assembly safer and more efficient. Everybody, as Bert mentioned, you've been through GSP. You may see our cars from time to time stationed there at the foot of the elevators where you come down. This is just one example of the vehicles that our students develop through their 2-year program in the master's degree. We call that program Deep Orange. It was started by Professor Dr. Paul Van Hovens, who now works for Tesla, leading their vehicle development. But he created this program so that students could actually experience the full vehicle launch and development process from concept through manufacture. So they start with a challenge, and it may be to develop a car for the Gen Alpha driver who will purchase a vehicle in the year 2030. And they start by understanding and learning about that person, everything about them, to the kind of music they like, what type of dog do they have, what's their favorite color. And they do so because we teach engineers that you can't just make cars for people like you, because most people are not like you. And we make cars for people who live entirely differently than we do. In the world, most people live in or near a megacity. Megacities like New York, Manhattan, Los Angeles, Mumbai, Singapore, Shanghai, Beijing. These are megacities. And more of the world is living in an environment like that, where ownership of a vehicle is quite a luxury that they can't afford. You can't afford a parking space that may cost $2,000 a month. Much less for a vehicle that you would never be able to find a parking spot for if you were to try to drive it. And so people take public transportation around the world. My eyes were opened to this when I first became a student in the program myself, and I was sitting beside a young lady who was doing her PhD, and she was from Central America, and her family had never owned a car. Nobody in her whole family had ever owned a car. They all took public transportation, buses or cabs, because there was just not enough space for every person to own their own car. So the point being is we learn how to design for a specific customer or target demographic, a person who is not exactly like us, and we deliver a solution for them. They experience that through this Deep Orange program. And so for the first couple of years, it's all about concept definition. What are they going to make? And then the second year, they build the car from scratch. And so each of these vehicles that you see was built from the ground up by our students. And in their summer and at least one semester of that program, they'll work on this project full time, like you and I might go to our jobs, only they stay there probably around the clock, 11 o'clock every night and on the weekends too. It's quite a labor of love, but each year they produce one of these vehicles. And you can see here another example of one. This one in particular, a self-driving car. It is fully autonomous, and it was designed to accommodate people of all different types of mobility. It was one of our more recent vehicles. It is starting here I'm going to show you an example of another fun one that many will find really exciting.
It is starting to get to the speed where they are struggling a little bit to maintain some stability there. So this is
Zoom maintains that 150 mile per hour speed. Polymove accelerating to the outside, 168 through the corners, nearly to 169. Now they crack 169, accelerating onto the front stretch and a spin from Tomb down to the infield and able to.
So, pretty cool racing here. These are all autonomous self-driving race cars. And those that you saw there were built by other schools who modeled our Deep Orange vehicle that we built as what would become the benchmark for an entire series of car challenge. So now other schools try to build this based on our design and compete. Just like we would do with the Formula Car projects that students have done for years. Now we've set the bar with this new autonomous Indy project. One of my favorites, actually. And so this is one of our most recent vehicles, and we affectionately call it not the tank. Looks like a tank, but it's not a tank. It's actually an autonomous reconnaissance vehicle. This is part of Deep Orange 13-14 timeframe, built for the U.S. Army. And so currently the U.S. Army is one of our primary sponsors of the Deep Orange program, and we're developing a variety of vehicles for them that are intended to help keep our soldiers safer. We're not making any war vehicles that, fight, but all of ours are focused on keeping soldiers safe. Sending autonomous vehicles into hostile areas helps avoid people having to go into those hostile areas. And I'm going to share with you a little bit here in this next video from Dr. Zoran Filippi, who is the Dean of the College of Mechanical and Automotive Engineering and the one who founded the new Viper Institute where this research is being done.
Viper.js is a virtual prototyping for Ground Systems Center here at Clemson University. We focus on innovative tools for virtual prototyping that enable assessment of a wide range of designs for these new off-road systems, enabled with breakthroughs in propulsion and autonomous driving. I'm very excited because our center is in full flight now, Viper.js. With more than 65 faculty working and around 55 PhD students and postdocs, focusing on the cutting-edge research, really pushing the forefront, aimed at transformational mobility. We are leveraging some of the strengths and established critical mass in some of these areas on the Clemson-ICAR Innovation Campus in the Automotive Engineering Department. So I'm very proud that we can bring to the table significant strength, people that have spent now years and have expertise in the autonomy, connectivity, propulsion systems, energy conversion, storage, optimization, and control of these systems, as well as digital engineering and virtual prototyping. But that wouldn't be enough. We are also proud of the culture of collaboration, and we have already very strong connections between our department and many other departments on main campus. Another reason why Clemson stood out when GVSC was looking around the country and eventually made the decision to select Clemson as a future core partner is our unique approach to engineering education, our hallmark Deep Orange program. Deep Orange is a way to take your master's students through a complete product development process in 2 years. I have a message for the undergraduates out there, Clemson or at other universities, thinking about graduate school. We welcome you. Keep an eye on the Viper.js at Clemson. If you are dreaming about work on the autonomy, connectivity, whether it's for off-road or on-road, some of these research approaches, algorithms being developed are equally applicable to the off-road military world and the commercial world. If you are thinking about clean and sustainable power energy for vehicles, we are the place for you.
So the CU-ICAR campus is actually part of a master plan that involves expansion that's yet to be developed. You'll see we're located there in Technology Neighborhood 1, which all of those buildings in white are, fully built out. But you'll expect to see in the years to come, each one of these campuses expanding. Some of them will include more work of CU-ICAR as we're running out of space for all the cool stuff we're doing already. But other industries will be co-locating on that campus as well. Here, an aerial view of what is going on there. And you'll see not only our Department of Automotive Engineering, which is the crazy looking dark gray building that you see that's got not a straight line on it. It's very easy to pick out which building is ours, but quite a lot going on of Clemson on this campus. But we also have industry partners located there as well. JTech, Sage, BMW have major innovation centers here. And a number of small industries, like we are a stopping point for companies who come to the upstate and want to get started and integrated into the automotive industry. We have flexible office space where those companies can come and have their office, be close to the cool innovation that is underway, get engaged with students, even if their office may be 3 people. And so we have a number of small businesses on this campus too. And here we had a little bit of font issues, but the fun part, we're engineers, we're not graphic designers, y'all. and Terry and I were just talking about font styles, and sorry about that. But I can tell you about this as I'm front and center right there. That's our first cohort of undergraduate students, 35 in the first class. And last week, I welcomed a new batch of 45 more. We intend that it will grow each year. We're kind of being very calculated in our growth to make sure we do a great job of delivering a wonderful experience for these students in a small environment before we try to get too big too quickly. But as word gets out about this program around the nation, we expect that we will have to be very selective in who we allow in because we only have space, but for so many. But this is a great batch. These students have interests from all over the map. Some of them grew up as gearheads, working on cars in their driveway with their family. Others don't know a box wrench from a screwdriver, but think that it's a wonderful opportunity to get engaged with this growing industry. And so we take them from all areas. One young lady there in the picture, she is very interested in motorboats and does a lot of boating, and she wants to do marine engine work in her future career. And so people come to us from all different walks of life into this program. As of this past year, we've awarded 1,000 degrees out of the automotive engineering program, and mine being one of them. I'm excited that one of our biggest bragging points is the industry placement. The other 4%, where do they go? They either stay in academia, right? Or they go on to become entrepreneurs themselves. But we have students that come from all over the world. And our master's and PhD program has historically been largely international of the demographic of students that are there. But this new undergraduate program is 100% domestic students. All of these are students who are from the USA. And so it's interesting to see the unique mix of people that we have, diversity in ideas and experiences and backgrounds that they all bring together. So thank you. I would like to take any questions that you have, whether it be about CU-ICAR in particular, or Clemson, or how you can give to the Rotary Scholarship Fund. I'm sorry. Yes, Peggy.
Your material study, how is recycling considered?
That's a great question. Thank you so much, Peggy. So we're asking about how are we looking at recycling and how that plays into advanced manufacturing and materials. So I mentioned that we have an advanced composite center. We also have an advanced materials center where we are focusing on additive manufacturing technologies, which is a very resource and sustainability way of making things out of metal instead of taking a big block of metal and shaving parts of it away, you basically 3D print out of metal. And so we're doing innovative research in these areas. But the next vehicle of deep orange that is slated, we actually announced it yesterday, so I can tell it. It's going to be a net energy positive vehicle. And its sustainability and recyclability is going to be a critical design criteria, where the vehicle's recycling and how it will be recaptured at end of life is going to be a key design target for that challenge. So it's great. It's very timely. We even have a course that is core requirement for our undergrads called Energy for Mobility, where they have to undertake a study of, how efficient is it? Everybody hears about electric vehicles, right? And electric vehicles are nice because you don't have the greenhouse gas emissions. They don't have tailpipe emissions. But, where we can find one on the side of the wall here, it's not a magic hole in the wall, right? We have to create that energy in some way, burn coal for an electric plant. And so these emissions just get shifted from one place to another. So it's not an end all be all to make electric cars. The batteries that go into electric cars have rare metals that go into them that are very disastrous for the environment when we try to mine those metals. And so this course is a big fat case study on the dirt to dirt life cycle of creating green energy, where the students have to research the impact to the environment from the moment that we mine the raw materials out of the ground to make those batteries, all the way to what happens when we try to recycle those batteries at their end of life. And so every student going through the program, that's a required course that they have to take. So great question, Peggy. Yes.
Give us a tour.
Okay, so we've got a request for a tour. So absolutely, I would love to give you guys a tour. We'll have to get that on the calendar as a maybe a lunch and learn or a health and happiness event where we could have one of our. We don't, but we will accommodate one in the lobby if somebody wants to set it up.
As I recall, when ICAR was getting started, there was a big focus on wind drag. Whatever happened?
Okay, so we got a question about when ICAR started. So let's reverse back to about 2007 or 8. And there was talk afoot of a wind tunnel. And many of you have been around for a long time and will have remembered how it all got started. We have an institute at Clemson called the Brooks Institute of Sports Science, and it was funded by a number of different sources, but they had some people on staff there who had a motorsports interest. One of them, his name was Jerry Rice, I believe it was. And Jerry's no longer with us anymore, but he had this idea, well, with all the automotive companies coming here, what if we were to have a wind tunnel? And maybe the NASCAR teams from up in Charlotte would come and be a part of this and want to test using this wind tunnel, because that's a really expensive piece of research equipment and not everybody can build one of those, right? And so it was a really neat idea. And it's the beauty of what I love about South Carolina, especially the upstate, is how one person plants a seed and other people come and they water that seed and it grows and something comes out of the ground that we really might not have expected. And that's what happened. That seed started with discussions of a wind tunnel, but the reality is all the big OEMs already have a wind tunnel and the NASCAR teams can use those for free. And BMW had one in Germany. And so nobody really needed a wind tunnel. But what we did need was more engineers. That number, that 115,000 that I put out there, we've had our eyes on that for quite some time. And back before BMW was a shovel in the dirt, economic studies were done that showed how we could improve the economy of South Carolina with a cluster-based industry approach. And if you've ever read the book Competitive Strategy by Michael Porter, He is one of the leading economists of our generation. If you've ever read Adam Smith back in the, the Wealth of Nations, Michael Porter is one of the leading economists in the world. And he came and consulted for the state of South Carolina. And I can remember when we had the big presentations in the state chamber of commerce where he had presented these ideas, but it was all centered around this cluster-based industries that would help us gain economies of scale. And so BMW was planted in the upstate with the expectation that all of its supply chain network would spring up around it. To support that endeavor, we had to have engineers and academia working together with these industries. Hence, Clemson decided to locate the CU-ICAR program in Greenville to be part of this cluster economy. You'll notice down in the low country, we have the aerospace, we have health sciences in the middle of the state. That's all part of a big grand plan to help promote economic growth and development in South Carolina. And so it did start as an idea of a wind tunnel, but it morphed into something that had legs and met the needs of what industry required.
I'm curious. I think the mechanics of learning how to drive a car will always be something we need to learn. But as a father of an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, I'm curious your professional opinion with autonomous vehicles. Like, will they be driving a car like I've always been doing, or is it going to be teaching them a software program to beep boop, and get to where they need to go?
I love that beep boop. So you bring a great question. Will autonomous cars actually be a reality? How many people we have a lot of lawyers in the club, or at least we have had a lot of lawyers. Where's our lawyers at? Raise them high. Be proud of this, okay? Because y'all have a tough job, all right? Y'all have a tough job. When the autonomous car runs over somebody, whose fault is it? We don't know who to sue. Yes, we will. All right. So there are a lot of challenges to autonomous driving. We can make, as you saw that race car, we can make very good, very high performing autonomous vehicles that can do their job very well. But when we try to put them, that's a closed track, mind you. When we try to put them together with unpredictable people, it becomes a lot more complex. We have a few professors whose crystal ball says that someday we won't be allowed to own cars, that they'll all be part of this network and you subscribe to them and they'll all be able to talk to each other if they're all in this same communications network. But if one person decides to jump in there with their 1956 Chevrolet that they fixed up in their garage and tries to get out on the road with it, then it's just going to be like, throwing a monkey wrench in that well-oiled talking network. And so I really don't have a crystal ball on that. But I do know that it's a bigger challenge from the logistics standpoint of managing the transportation than it is to actually make the autonomous car. We can make the autonomous car now. And it's actually very, very reliable. But how to get everybody on the road intermingled with autonomous cars and people driving cars is the hard part.
Did a drone make the film that took us through the building?
No, that was me on a hang glider. Yes, that was a drone driven by one of our students who made that video to tour. And yes, I would be more than happy to host the club for a similar tour. It won't be a flying one, but we'll walk carefully on the ground to go see some of these projects in person. Thank you so much for inviting me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Better when it came out yesterday. Perfect. Then you all know about the member satisfaction survey, right? I know we are all surveyed to death, and I apologize for that, but this is an opportunity for your club leadership to figure out what you like about your club and what you think we can do a better job at. And I will try not to bug you with too many reminders, but understand the survey is anonymous. So like when you sign up and volunteer, when I bug you to volunteer for something in DACDB, you don't get my follow-up emails because I have a way of figuring out that you volunteered, so you don't get the follow-up emails. So that's why it's best to volunteer early, so you don't get all the follow-up emails. But unfortunately, in this case, you're going to get the follow-up emails because I have no way of knowing who has or has not taken the survey. But we will share the results with you, and more importantly, we'll tell you what we're going to do with the results. And so this is your opportunity to give us some feedback on what you think of the club just a couple months into our Rotary year. Next slide. You're going to see this one every month or every 2 weeks from me. This is just a reminder of what we're looking for from all of our members, our big three or our big four. But you heard from Kringle. The link is out there. Please volunteer for Kringle Holiday Village. That's our flagship fundraiser. Jeremy, we have what, 3.2% of the positions filled? 3.22%. So there are plenty of opportunities to sign up to help with Kringle. I think Jane is also looking for some people to maybe help with their committees as she brings this home over the next few months. If you know somebody that can sponsor, if you'd like to sponsor, if you can just make a sponsor introduction, Jane will be more than grateful. Or if you have a silent auction item, she'd love to have that as well. Bring somebody to DR. We had, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 people today, and most of them were brought by club members. Please keep that up. And also get involved with your club. We got plenty of volunteer opportunities coming up. You'll see them in the newsletter, but please get involved. And then last but not least, have fun. So with that said, I think we're right on time. If you could go to our 4-way test, if you'd all stand up with me, please. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be fair to all concerned?